two huge talents, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun for Grayson. And only in this case is a pitcher going against another pitcher, because this guy's hitting also, and one of the best players on the planet. And I think it's always special facing a guy with this much ability and this talented. And we have the starters we have faced in the past since the season started. We've seen like everybody's number one, I feel like, except in New York we haven't seen Cole yet. But besides that, you look at almost every series, we've seen their number one, and I'm really proud of how our guys have handled that and the at-bats that they've taken off premier pitching so far. The guy yesterday, that was as good as it gets. And the league's going to find out about him really soon, because if they haven't already, because that was elite stuff. And now we're facing elite stuff again tonight. And it's a fun game. And then somebody that's that talented and that special, what a challenge for us, and so we're looking forward to it.
Does it strike you at all the contrast between the last time, the only time you guys have faced them, when you guys were trying to break a 19-game losing streak?
You had to bring that up, Dan.
But I mean, look where you guys are now versus the last time you faced them.
Much better spot now. Yeah, much better spot mentally right now than we were last time we faced them, for sure. God, those are some tough days, but yeah, I mean, we're a lot better club now than we were a couple of years ago, and we swung the bat well against them a couple of years ago. Hopefully, we can do it again.
Does it make for an interesting first game in meetings where it's the hitters that have to study reports on him, and the pitchers also have to study reports on him?
We just did our advanced report or advanced meeting to face him, and then I just walked past, and the pitcher guys were talking about pitching to him. So. We're lucky to have somebody like this in our league, and somebody that's so incredibly has the more ability than anybody, and be an MVP candidate from both sides of the ball, and so a lot of admiration for him.
You talk about you facing a lot of number ones, but going back to Rodriguez, Grayson, he's faced DeGrom, Cease, and now Shohei. Does a young pitcher like that maybe take notes and learn as he's going up against pitchers like that?
Yeah, I think Grayson's got a great mindset for it, and that I think he's excited about the challenge. I know that I remember talking to him before the Cease game, and he was excited to pitch against the White Sox and see Cease in person. And I haven't talked to him about today, but I know he's up for the challenge, and this is a really good lineup. He's going to not only Ohtani, but you got Mike Trout in there also. Let's not forget about him. It's a tough matchup, and this is what you live for. This is why we're here, and you definitely feel like you're in the big leagues on nights like tonight.
Brandon, with Gunnar, it looks like he's starting to kind of get it going offensively right now. What are you seeing from him at the plate?
Yeah, I think that at-bats have been better. I think yesterday's everybody at-bats was tough. We just faced somebody that had great stuff that was really on, and Peyton pitching on the corners, and had a tough time. But great to see him get that double the last at-bat. I know the splash zone appreciated it also. But his at-bats have gotten better the last few days. I think I like him when he's more aggressive early in the count on pitches he can drive, and just missed a few also. But I think that the quality of at-bats have been better.
What's the dynamic like with Gunnar at third and Joey Ortiz at shortstop? Do you like what's going on there?
Yeah, I mean, Joey didn't have a whole lot of action yesterday, but it's two really talented young infielders, and they're a ton of range and arm strength, and it's fun to watch both those guys.
Have you noticed at all that the pitch clock has been any tougher an adjustment for relievers than for starters?
I think back-end relievers, guys that have closed in the past, I think that's been the biggest adjustment for them, just because they can't reset. Like, there's so much adrenaline, and so the moment's so big at that point that, and not just but when I'm watching games on TV and things like that, I think league-wide, I think that's when you notice it the most.